Well, Dan Aaron, president, patriot, the consummate public servant who put country first and brought dignity to the country's highest office. Former Congressman and Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta spent 5 decades in Washington, worked with 9 presidents, but it's George H.W. Bush who stands out.
And there's no question in my mind that George Bush was the most decent of all of those presidents. He was just, he was a good human being and respected others. And as a member of the greatest generation coming out of World War II, having fought in World War II, you always knew that country came first.
Panetta first met Bush in the early 70s. Panetta was leading the Office of Civil Rights, and Bush was a Texas congressman.
And he was concerned about civil rights and equal education in his own district. And I remember talking with him, and I really got a sense that he really cared about trying to make sure we provided equal justice to people.
Panetta would also become a congressman, and both would later become director of the CIA.
And I said to him, I said, Mr. President, I want you to know that now as CIA director, how honored I am to be able to work in a building named in your honor. And he said, Leon, he said, don't get carried away with the name of the building. Just do what's right for the country. I never forgot that, because that was what he was about.
A legacy of 70 years of public service characterized by dignity, decency, devotion to country, and compassion for others.
I think, George Bush's death comes at a very important time, because maybe it'll wake up some people in Washington that there's a better way to exercise leadership in this country in a way that really represents the interests of our country, and not their interests, but the interests of the country.
Now the president's body will lie in state at the U.S. Capitol through Wednesday ahead of a state funeral at the National Cathedral.
All right, Felix, thank you. One thing that you should know about Wednesday, the United States Postal Service is halting mail delivery service as part of the federal government's National Day of Mourning for President Bush.